This book takes a holistic approach to ML systems. It takes into account different components of the system and the objectives of different stakeholders involved. The content in this book is illustrated using actual case studies, many of which I've personally worked on, backed by ample references, and reviewed by ML practitioners in both academia and industry. Sections that require in-depth knowledge of a certain topic, for example, batch processing versus stream processing, infrastructure for storage and compute, and responsible AI, are further reviewed by experts whose work focuses on that one topic. In other words, this book is an attempt to give nuanced answers to the aforementioned questions and more. When I first wrote the lecture notes that laid the foundation for this book, I thought I wrote them for my students to prepare them for the demands of their future jobs as data scientists and ML engineers. However, I soon realized that I also learned tremendously through the process. The initial drafts I shared with early readers sparked many conversations that tested my assumptions, forced me to consider different perspectives, and introduced me to new problems and new approaches. I hope that this learning process will continue for me now that the book is with you, as you have experiences and perspectives that are unique to you. Please feel free to share with me any feedback you might have for this book via the ML Ops Discord server that I run, where you can also find other listeners of this book, Twitter, LinkedIn, or other channels that you can find on my website. Who this book is for. This book is for anyone who wants to leverage ML to solve real-world problems. ML in this book refers to both deep learning and classical algorithms, with a leaning toward ML systems at scale, such as those seen at medium to large enterprises and fast-growing startups. Systems at a smaller scale tend to be less complex and might benefit less from the comprehensive approach laid out in this book. Because my background is engineering, the language of this book is geared toward engineers, including ML engineers, data scientists, data engineers, ML platform engineers, and engineering managers. You might be able to relate to one of the following scenarios. You have been given a business problem and a lot of raw data. You want to engineer this data and choose the right metrics to solve this problem. Your initial models perform well in offline experiments, and you want to deploy them. You have little feedback on how your models are performing after your models are deployed, and you want to figure out a way to quickly detect, debug, and address any issue your models might run into in production. The process of developing, evaluating, deploying, and updating models for your team has mostly been manual, slow, and error-prone. You want to automate and improve this process. Each ML use case in your organization has been deployed using its own workflow, and you want to lay down the foundation. For example, model store, feature store, monitoring tools that can be shared and reused across use cases.